who's an astute kind of observer of Jewish history would understand this very, very simple thing. You cannot defeat or fight anti-Semitism. An ism is an ism. An ism is a ideology, it is a sentiment. If you want to talk about anti-Semitism specifically, it is the only sentiment of its kind. It is different from every single other what you'd call racism or bigotry or hatred. It is unique. How is it unique? Because it is embedded in the very fabric of nature itself. It is something that Rashi called Esav soneh et Yaakov. What does that mean? It means, in English, it means Esav hates Jacob. For those of you guys who know Torah, you may come to say, well, Tzvi, what does it mean? That every non-Jew hates every Jew? No, that's not what it means. What it means is that embedded in the fabric of reality is going to be this sentiment of Jew hatred. There's many reasons for it. Many of them are not always logical. Some of them are spiritual. I mean, the main underlying reason is spiritual. But it's not going to go away. What is going to go away, or who can you make go away, or who can you defeat, or who can you fight? You can fight anti-Semites themselves. You can. You should, and you can. You should beat them with a baseball bat. You should, if they come at your restaurant like they did in Los Angeles, and I think it was Miami recently, you can shoot them. You can shoot them, folks. My friend Frank and I just talked about the halacha. Speaking of halacha, if somebody comes to kill you, you rise up and kill them first. Specifically, the Torah talks about somebody tunneling. It talks about somebody tunneling to rob your house. All the more so if they come tunneling to kill you. You have every right to kill them, preempt them even. Folks, I mean, our government, the Israeli government is supposed to flood these tunnels immediately. They should have done this years ago, right? Without any provocation, without any Nova festivals or anything. That's the halacha. You understand? That's Torah. If the government followed Torah, we wouldn't be in this position. That's something else. So, we have to fight anti-Semites physically. But to eradicate anti-Semitism, folks, because if you look at anti-Semitism, what is it really? Especially now, what is its foundation? It's the foundation of anti-Semitism is lies, is lack of truth in the world. Really, what it is lack of God in the world, lack of Torah, lack of truth, right? And so, what does that mean? That means that the only person who can eradicate anti-Semitism is Moshiach. Why? Because he will bring truth to the world. He will bring Torah and God and truth into the world. And when you have truth, you can't have any more. You can't hate the Jews. You can't hate those who are bringing you the truth, who are bringing you God. It's like dividing by zero. You can't do it. You won't be able to do it. It'll be a non-starter. You understand? So, folks, and you could tell me, Tzvi, well, I'm not religious. I don't believe what you say, this and that. Folks, I'm telling you how it is. You can believe it, not believe it. Look at Jewish history and see for yourself that the sentiment, the feeling, the ideology of Jew hatred is permanent. It's as permanent as oxygen, as the sky. I'm not saying this to be, paranoid or oh, they hate us, that kind of thing. No, it's just an acceptance of the reality of nature. And again, I don't want to get into it in this video, but you notice anti-Semites, it's been mentioned before, they hate us in contradictions, because we're poor, because we're rich, because we're not, don't believe in something, or because we do believe in something, right? They hate us for many reasons. All the reasons are opposites of each other. They contradict each other. Doesn't make any sense. And then they concoct lies. They make things up. They attribute things to us that are not true. They manipulate. They mistranslate. You guys, I don't have to tell you, right? It's like you can just think of like a pile of things that are done, right? Over and over and over again. And so we understand because of that there is no truth. And if there is no truth, then you're not gonna convince somebody who wants to believe the lie that of something that it's a lie, right? The only thing you can do is if that person comes at you, with the intent to harm you, you can preempt them. You should. You have an obligation to. Speaking of Torah, you have an obligation to do that. But to eradicate anti-Semitism, guys, you're making a mistake. You're spending a lot of money. These organizations, folks, stopping anti-Semitism, if they wish to say, we're going to stop anti-Semites, let's go get some baseball bats and every Jew at 22, I'm all over it, guys. I'm all with you, organizations. But if you tell me stop anti-Semitism, eradicate anti-Semitism, you're trying to eradicate the sun. The sun that, in the sky? You're trying to stomp out, hey guys, we're going to start an organization to stomp out oxygen. Guys, you're smarter than that, huh? Come on. Anyway, guys, just thought I'd mention this again. I've said this many times. I mean, a few people I think also mentioned it, but I'm not the only one, but I think it needs to be said, especially at a time like this. Especially when really all we need to be doing, instead of arguing with anti-Semites about how, what they're saying isn't true and wasting our breath, just kick their ass. Guys, just kick their ass. Just do what we've been doing in the past couple of weeks. I noticed around the country, people are standing up to stuff, to these guys, finally. Because it's enough already. We've been pushed to the edge. So, yeah, guys, stop trying to stomp out anti-Semitism. Just stomp out anti-Semites. Laila Tov.